You're listening to the Key of Awesome Music podcast, brought to you by me, Jim Gaven. Key of Awesome Music was established back in 2011 as a way to further protect and promote the music that I wrote as a solo artist, as well as some of the other bands that I was in the past. And that has since grown into representing 10 artists' music that have either gone under the radar or have not been noticed for one reason or another, and are just awesome, awesome musicians and storytellers through song. In the late winter and early spring of 2018, Key of Awesome Music was given the opportunity to further expand its horizons, as well as further impact people in a positive way, using music as a tool to do so. From one-on-one sessions on guitar, piano, bass, ukulele, percussion, and vocals, to group sessions at developmental and physically disabled day programs, to interactive live performances in nursing homes and assisted living facilities, we are fortunate and blessed to be able to provide a mission-based music service for people in a time of need. Right now, we are reaching out to drug and alcohol counseling centers, prisons, at-risk youth, homeless shelters, soup kitchens, mental health organizations, and anywhere else we can think of where coming in to do a music program would best serve and support the individuals that you serve and support. If this sounds like something you are interested in, please feel free to reach out to us at jim.gaven@gmail.com. That is jim.gaven@gmail.com. Also, you can check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/Key of Awesome Music. That's facebook.com/Key of Awesome Music. We also have a Patreon page set up so that we can go into some of these places and not affect their bottom line. If you are looking to donate to a worthy cause or something a little different outside of the box, and you're having trouble doing so, this would be a great opportunity to give back to the community and using music as a means to help people. Feel free to go to www.patreon.com/Jim Gaven. That's patreon.com/JIMGAVEN. Thank you for all of the love and support. Trust me, it is greatly appreciated. From the bottom of my heart, thank you, thank you, thank you. This is Jim Gaven from the Key of Awesome Music, improving the quality of life through music.
And welcome to On the Air with Jim and I with Key of Awesome. How you doing, Jim?
Jim and I. It almost sounds like a sign, like Aries, Pisces, a Gemini.
A Gemini.
Yeah.
It's a Gemini. So how are you, man?
Doing beautiful today. It's a beautiful day. Well, it was a beautiful day. Then it's getting a little kind of cold out there.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be nice. It's going to come and go, but I'm spoiled already. I am. I'm way spoiled already.
Well, we do tend to get spoiled a little bit, and then reality sets in, and we'll get rain for 3 days straight. Right?
Unfortunately, yes.
Sometimes I think we're in the New Seattle.
New Seattle.
Where instead of New Jersey, we should be called New Seattle.
Well, my daughter lived in Oregon for a while. Man, I can't. That is not my weather. It was snowing in like May there.
Oh wow.
Yep. Of course, that was like 4,400 feet above sea level. So you can expect that.
That'll do it.
Not my climate. I prefer sand. Sand and surf.
Yeah, man. Well, thanks for having me on tonight, man.
No, this is your show.
Yeah.
Normally we're pre-recorded, so now we're doing this live. And if you want to call in tonight, the number 609-241-7103. And you can talk to Jim, ask him your questions.
Sure. And I'll answer them as best I can. You can't throw any doozies at me, though.
No. We'll see if your wife calls in.
About that thing we were supposed to talk about that we never got to because our son was blah, 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 blah in our ears.
Yeah, he's getting big too, man.
It's crazy, man. He's almost 4. He'll be 4 in August. Wow. He's like a little man. It's crazy. I feel it's so cool to see him come back from, like, say, preschool, and he's learned a new word, or they make a new project and he's happy to show me. And I feel like every day I see him, there's something new, or he'll come up with some sort of weird one-liner comeback. I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah, they're really smart.
Like, how are you that witty already? You're 3.
My granddaughter is 2.5 years old, and I sit back and just go like, wow, like you're like a little old lady. They're precious though, man. So it makes getting up every day,
Yeah, it's that's one way of putting it. Our son gets up like he's just drank a Red Bull, and it's 5:30 in the morning. And
We'll see.
most
I'm
mornings
looking
he
at it
gets-
from a grandfather's perspective. You're looking at it from you have to deal with it 24/7.
Yeah, it's so funny. It is amazing, but it's definitely interesting when we could almost be living on a farm at the time he gets up in the morning. It's mostly between 5:30 and 6, and lately it's been like 5:20, 5:30, and like I said, he gets up and like he'll almost like he springs out of bed like and just like he just drank a Red Bull. And it's like that's the only way I can describe it. He's like, "Daddy, get up, Daddy!" Like, buddy, like just like chill out, man. It's still dark out.
Time does he go to bed?
It's like, what's that?
Time does he go to bed?
He goes to bed between like 7:45, 8.
Oh wow, so that's not too
Still
bad.
gets a decent amount of sleep,
Yeah.
but he's just
He wakes up ready to go.
he's ready. Just Like, could you imagine if we woke up as adults like that and sprung up like, oh right, let's do this.
If you could bottle that, you'd be a millionaire.
And yeah, I mean, for sure.
It's not quite Red Bull, but
Yeah. Yeah, man. So
what's going on with Key of Awesome? What's new?
there's so many things that I feel like have been happening over the last few months. So in case people don't really know, I had a side business for many years. It was called Key of Awesome Music. I started it in 2011 as a kind of a way to protect the music that I wrote, whether it was a solo act or whether it was in bands I was in or the duo that I'm sort of currently in, but we don't really practice that much anymore. It's hard when you have kids to maneuver that.
Changes everything.
Yeah, it really does. And so it was for many years, about I guess 6 or 7 years, where I was just operating as like an extra way to like make some money, trying to get royalties coming in for song placements and different things, background like in-store radio retail stuff that I was able to get into. I've had a couple of songs placed on like some small indie films and some TV shows, like small ones. And then there's one now that I have recurring, which is really cool that I just felt like I should share. It's on Amazon Video on Demand. And it's because it's like through this one thing that's actually affiliated with Netflix in some strange way too, which is so interesting. And it's a reruns of the show, like the TV show Charmed, when that was on. Like, it was on TNT many years.
Right.
It's still on TNT. Well, they made some sort of Netflix thing on it, and I see a royalty. I'm like, this is crazy. Like, why have one of my songs on like a Netflix thing right now?
And that was something you did when it was the series?
Yeah, like way back. When it was an original song.
Well, it's good to know that those residuals carry on.
No, they're still they come in like every quarter, and it's like really. And so it was like kind of the reason why I set up Key of Awesome Music initially was to like further protect the music that I've written in different bands I've been in, and my solo act, and like just try to pitch it and make some side stuff, side money coming in, because it never hurts.
It's just the way of the world today anyway.
I
mean, all of your income is not in one stream, unfortunately. You have to be all over the place.
It's like diversify.
Yes, absolutely.
And so when I could try to get things in, like that's almost like a passive income, which a lot of these royalty things are now at this point. I mean, yeah, you do the work up initially, but like when you get things consistently coming in, it feels good, because it's like I didn't even have to I haven't done anything with this song other than play it out live here and there, and it's making money for me, and it's
helps
getting
pay the bills,
and it's getting the word out. It's getting the word out about like, who knows who's watching these shows, and it's like, I don't know, I like that song. Like, let me look up what that is. And so things have happened like that, and I get like emails and Facebook messages, more Facebook messages from people like I don't know who they are, and it's cool,
right?
So that kind of stuff happens from getting a song in a TV show. But so last year, I was kind of put in a position. The company that I was working at, the company was called Allies. They're a nonprofit who supports and serves people with developmental disabilities. This is kind of where my life and career has been for like the last decade, almost the last decade now, about 9 years. And they came to me and said, look, we love you and we love what you're doing for our individuals, but we can't continue this like music program it's just not like financially viable.
Yeah, it doesn't always be the first thing that gets cut. I mean, there was the same thing in public schools, right? They cut the music
The
programs when the
music
budgets
or
got
the
tough, you know,
arts and music and arts are the first things that
that
will
get
go,
cut, unfortunately.
which is crazy
It is
to
crazy.
me. Because there's so much you could learn from music and art that you can't learn from, like, I don't know, history.
And
know,
it's like a
and-
trade or a skill, right? I mean, somebody who can work with their hands is always going to have work, right? Whether you're a plumber or a carpenter, a musician, a
That's
songwriter, you know
true.
what I mean? That's just something you don't need somebody else. You know, you can get by.
Yeah. And there's something to be said about people who can work with their hands, for sure.
Right.
And that's a whole other tangent I can go on. But like, because I have a thing with, like, maybe college isn't always the best option for everybody, you know. And as much as I'd love my son to go to college, I don't want him to just go to college for the sake of going to college and be in $100,000 worth of debt or whatever, and then come
And
out
still working at McDonald's.
yeah, and be like, I don't know what I want to do. So why did you just accrue $100,000 to $200,000 worth of debt for, like, the hell of it, to party? I mean, I have my qualms. I mean, I went to college. It was never forced on me, which was great. My parents were just like, "What do you want to do?" And I'm like, "I think I want to go to college." And so that was cool, and we did that. You know, I did that, but that might not be for everybody. You know,
Right,
it might maybe going to school to become a plumber or a mechanic, right, is more along, or maybe it's like, I don't want to go to college. I want to be in the army, you know, or I want to start my own business. And,
You know, I was thinking about this the other day because I watch a lot of like Access TV, you know, the guitars and music and stuff like that. And I was just kind of thinking back that people usually follow the path of their parents. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Whatever they did.
Sure.
It's just a natural progression. You know what I mean? It's not always the case, but it just seems to be what people tend to do. So if your family is musical, I think you tend to follow those tendencies because you're around it all the time.
yeah, you know what's funny? I wasn't really around it a lot when I was younger.
It's not the case for everybody.
Which is right. But my mom is a great piano player, and she used to sing at church. So
So you had some influence.
I didn't think about much of it because she never pursued it like the way I'm pursuing it. But it was definitely there. Like, that fire sort of was kind of lit more from my mom.
Right.
Because I'm like, oh, that's neat. Mom's singing at church, you know, or and mom's at home just playing piano, and she's really good. And I never bothered to try to get piano lessons from her. I just wasn't interested when I was a little kid. I was more into sports. And But, you know, then the day came for music. At any rate, went off on a tangent there, but it's good. So let's go back to, you know, the position I was put in at the company, right? Say about getting cut for pretty much the music program.
Right.
And they gave me two options. They were like, you know, they really gave me one option, but in my mind, it was, I made up what I was going to do when they told me immediately. They were like, you know, we'd love for you to stay with the company. You know, you could work like a desk job and do something along those lines. Like, and I said, my heart sank. I'm just like, I knew right away, like, I have to leave this company and start and just take what I've been doing, you know, trying to help people with special needs mostly, and create my own thing and change the mission and the vision and the whole face of the company to, instead of just trying to make like side stuff with publishing, getting songs placed and whatnot, to full-time running a music service company, to mostly benefit individuals who have, you know, developmental disabilities. And in addition to that, like, I go to a lot of nursing homes and I play songs at different nursing homes in the area, mostly for the Alzheimer's and dementia care units. I go to a couple of drug and alcohol counseling and recovery centers now, which is amazing.
And you're going to see that expand into more and more, I think.
I really feel like
we were talking a little about that off the air.
I really feel like there's a need for more of that in the drug and alcohol recovery centers. There's some growth and some of the most amazing things I've seen in some of these places. Like, some people I can see, like, are outwardly, visibly struggling. And even in a session that I'm in there with them, and we're just supposed to be having fun, and I do like group songwriting with them, which is really fun.
Yeah.
We have a whiteboard. We throw a bunch of ideas up on the board. I have my own little way of doing things with them. And after like 6 to 8 weeks, we kind of like write a song together. And I'm only there like for an hour a week. That's, these two places.
Right.
And I bring my recording equipment in and we record it. Like we make like a makeshift
That's awesome,
studio
man.
in the room. And it's been so cool to see. And, I've had some like moments in these drug and alcohol counseling centers that I feel like I'll never forget. Like they'll stick with me. Like one guy actually said to me, like, you are one of the few people in my life that saved my life. This man just told me this. Like this guy is probably in his mid to late 50s. He's told me he was never sober in his adult life. This is the first time he's been sober in his adult life.
Wow.
And to hear those words from him, like, you are somebody who saved my life. I'm like, dude, I'm only here once a week.
We all have addictive personalities, though. So for somebody to just switch what that addiction is, you know what I mean, from a drug or something harmful to them to music or something that'll, not harm them, but, help them in the long term.
Yeah. I mean, it's a constructive way to use time.
That whole group songwriting thing that's awesome.
It's super fun, man.
Because that's a group of people that have a lot of material to pull back from. You know what I mean? Really to write.
Oh yeah. And it's cool to kind of get everybody to be on the same page. And yeah, of course, everybody's got their own personalities, their own egos, but at the same time, we're able to get a lot accomplished in really a short amount of time. I mean, think about it. If I'm there once a week for 6 weeks and we have a song finished, that means we wrote for 45 minutes to an hour in one session, shelved it for a whole week, came back to it, and not much sort of gets lost in that time.
Right.
And then by 6 weeks, like basically 6 hours, like we have a song and it's basically written with a bunch of people. Like, I don't really know who they are. I mean, after like 6 weeks, I get to know them. But at first it's like, I'm basically asking a bunch of strangers to me to trust me that we're going to do something that they probably never done before.
Right.
I mean, that's also a beautiful thing too, because maybe they never thought they could crack the addiction.
And that's something that they can always follow through. I mean, they actually see that happen, right? You go through the whole exercise of writing that song, and then you see the final product.
And it's not like it's, this stuff, some of this, it's not going to end up on the radio, the recordings we're doing, but just that release and like getting out what's inside and like doing it in a fun way. And like, I ask people to like sing into the microphone, and that can be a hard thing if you're not used to it.
Right.
And so, I mean, some people, they're kind of timid. I'm like, don't be afraid of the mic. I can always lower the volume, just sing. And some people have been like, I don't know if I could do it. I'm like, you can do this. You can do this. I know you can do this. Everybody can sing.
I think that's a great exercise because, people with addictions are very low on self-esteem. You know what I mean? So it almost helps in that way as well.
I just basically, like I just said it a minute ago, I ask people to trust me that don't really know me. And it's a really cool thing to gain that trust with them in a short amount of time. And it's really helped me, like, with my patience, my understanding, my compassion even more. And like, they inspire me. The people that are going through this struggle that is addiction, they inspire me because it is not an easy road out.
No. And
they show up every day.
That's awesome.
These people are showing up, being there.
That's good because then they're interested, in what you're offering them. And that's awesome. It really is.
So that's like an area I'm really looking forward to exploring more in the future for sure.
And there's a lot of avenues, like you said, people with special needs, people, that are in recovery. Yeah.
The Alzheimer's dementia folks.
Right.
I am, there's this really cool program that I've been involved in where it's so cool. I don't even know how I get in touch with some of these places. It just gets put on my mind. It gets put on my heart to like, just reach out to different places. Right. And so I think I might have even typed into Google one day, like Make-A-Wish Foundation or Make-A-Wish music. Right. Or like music for kids who are sick or something like that. And there's this company that exists called Songs of Love. That's what the company's called.
Really?
If you look up songsoflove.org, super cool. Right. And you get a one sheet, like a profile of a kid who is most of the time has a terminal illness, which is unfortunate. And you get a picture of the kid, and sometimes it's hard to see, like, I'm hooked up to tubes and IVs and stuff. But you get this one sheet, and it's like the kids' hobbies, their interests, maybe family members, friends, things that they're really into, type of music they like. And you basically write a song for them, record it, and send it to them, to the company. And like they actually pay songwriters to do this. And that wasn't the initial intention. The intention was to do something different with music to try to help people. And I'll probably never meet these kids, but I get emails back from, when I send it into Songs of Love, and they'll say the parents love this song, and here's the response. Like the kid is overjoyed. I've never seen my son smile like this before. Like it's so cool. Yeah. And to think that there's places out there like this that are doing really meaningful work. So that's another area that I've gotten into, writing songs that I'm never gonna like do anything else with. They're just for that one particular child. Right. Hopefully gets them through chemotherapy if they have to go through it because they have cancer or something along those lines, or gets them through a tough time, or or maybe is one of the last things that they really ever listen to. Right. So to me, that's like, it's just like amazing to be able to do this kind of stuff and use music as a tool to really help people. And a lot of this stuff was not on my radar like a few years ago because I was just so inundated with doing stuff for the companies I was working at and hustling. I'm still hustling, but it's like, it's more of a focus of what other areas can I use music to help people. It's not self-serving anymore. It used to be very self-serving.
I just think it's great that they eliminated your program and you found a way to take that program
immediately.
You know what I mean?
Immediately,
and continue it along.
Yeah. And now I'm in like at least a dozen agencies, different agencies.
So it's going to keep growing. So if someone was interested in that, how would they get in touch with you?
Oh, I love that question, Art. You could go to info@keyofawesomemusic.com, and that stuff gets channeled. Most of it gets channeled to me. So, yeah, info@keyofawesomemusic.com is just shoot me an email. Shoot that email one, and we're on Facebook. If you just type in Key of Awesome Music, not Key of Awesome, because I think if you type in the Key of Awesome, there's a company that exists out there that does like parodies of songs.
Yeah.
And I think it's called The Key of Awesome.
Yeah.
So mine is Key of Awesome Music, and then you'll find me and like what different stuff what we're doing, different, sometimes places we go to will post videos and pictures of us in action, and kind of promotes us for us,
cool.
which is cool.
Nice.
And yeah, keyofawesomemusic.com.
Everything has to start somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So, at least it's moving in the right direction.
Oh, it's.
I'm sure it's going to continue to expand.
It's been, man. Like now, it's not just me. Like I said, I have 3 part-time guys, and they're part-time. Went from like once a month to now one is going to end up turning into twice a week. So from once a month to twice a week is a huge jump.
It's nice that you've planned ahead a little bit, and even though they're only part-time, I mean, that's going to probably expand as things move along.
They want more
in your program,
and they want more. Like these musician friends of mine are just amazing human beings. Like they're really good musicians as is, and like to me, they're even better humans. You know, and I wouldn't bring them onto the team if I didn't think that they could do a great job and really be there in the moment, and leaving their ego at the door. Because a lot of what we do is like not about you.
Right.
It's like you might not want to play Justin Bieber, but guess what? Like they got 5 kids in this aftercare program who love that guy to death, and so we're doing a Justin Bieber song. Right. Like you're not going to fight a kid on like what do you mean you're not going to play whatever Baby or any song that Justin Bieber has, you're going to do that song for that kid to make him happy, and because that's what they want to hear. And there's different, it's not just, we don't just go in there and play songs for people. There's more to it. It's like, we try to do songs that are season specific and maybe whatever holiday is happening in that month or near there. And there's different percussion activities that we do that kind of brings out different rhythms. We bring instruments in, like mostly percussion instruments, and let the kids play along and guide them through group percussion. And I even teach sign language through music. Like I know a little bit of sign language. I know enough to get by on like about 10 songs now. So, and it's great. It's a skill that I've learned just from being.
Actually, I learned a little bit myself. We had taught the baby things like,
more. Yeah.
And it was nice because she actually was able to communicate with us
without being able to speak.
Right, without being able to speak.
And so
it was kind of unique to actually see her pick that right up.
Yeah.
And she'd come out and she'd be like, I want more. whatever it was we were giving her.
Dude, and that's such a great thing, right? Because even though your granddaughter might not have been able to like verbally say, I want more, she still could communicate that she wanted more.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of the people not a lot of the people, but there's a decent amount of people that I spend time with on a daily basis that are what you might consider nonverbal. Right. They make maybe grunting noises. That's verbal, but it's not, it's more non-communicative.
Right.
And, for somebody who might not be able to sing or want to play an instrument, like I can still engage them in a session by doing sign language. And so I've seen some cool things.
Music is kind of universal.
I've seen some really cool things. And this is just something I've developed from being when I was at Allies. I just wanted to do something different. And I'm like, what can I do with the guys and gals in the program that's different? And I said, well, what if I just learn a song on sign language and test it out and see how they like it? And they loved it. And so I just continued to learn bits and pieces of signs here. I mean, I don't even know how to sign the alphabet, but I know signs. I know signs enough to like get through like simple songs like "You Are My Sunshine" or "This Little Light of Mine," like things like that.
Right.
And then I incorporate those songs into like what we do in program. So sometimes we sing those songs with the guitar, and sometimes we just do it a cappella and we just do the signs. And it's nice when I go onto the guitar and I play it, and then I see people signing, because then they're like connecting all the dots. And yeah, just some amazing things.
That's cool. Man. So they're actually communicating amongst themselves.
Yes. Yeah.
Awesome.
And so this is happening in real time, and I just like, it's just been such a blessing. And like, I'm just so thankful that I get to continue to do this, because I don't know if I was doing something else, I think I'd start to go a little insane.
That's it. We all like to do something that makes us happy, right? Because when you're doing something that makes you happy, it's not really work.
Yeah. There's some days where it is work, but yeah, most of the time I have to catch myself. Like I'm constantly tapping my phone, and it's not because I'm trying to be rude. It's like, crap. Like if I don't keep track of the time, like I'll spend like 3 hours at a program when I'm only supposed to be there for an hour.
And that time flies by.
Oh, it's crazy how fast it goes. There's been times I've like gone through, we're doing a bunch of things. Like I'll break sessions up, like in an hour session, we'll do like 20 minutes of song, 20 minutes of like sing along songs, 20 minutes of like percussion, and 20 minutes of sign language. If it's an hour, I just chop it up. So we go from one thing to the next. And so people are engaged, and they're not like,
they're not bored.
They're not in La La Land or like lost. If they don't want to sing these songs, well, at least they know in 15 to 20 minutes, we're going to move on to something else.
Right.
And like, it's just like really cool to be able to pull this, like basically pull the goodness out of people, and have them, maybe do something that maybe they didn't think they could do. And then one of the cooler things is not even the individuals that we're serving and supporting, but like the employees and the staff that are there.
Well, there's always a learning moment in getting someone uncomfortable.
No,
that's
man.
I'm a trainer for our recovery coach program and stuff. And I'm a master of making people uncomfortable in that program, but they learn from that moment.
Oh yeah,
and that's important.
Oh yeah, the staff and employees, sometimes they look at me, and I really think sometimes they look at me like I'm out of my mind, because I'm going in there with this same sort of, and maybe they're right. Maybe sometimes I am a little out of my mind, but I go in there with this attitude like, we're going to get some cool stuff accomplished today. We're going to have fun. And I might ask you to do things you've never done before. Yeah. And you're just going to have to trust me, because I'm not trying to harm you. And this is supposed to be for your benefit. And we're going to do something together. It's going to be awesome. And let's do this. And, I'll have some of the employees come up to me afterwards on occasion and say, I can't believe, like, I'm just using a random name. Like, I can't believe you got Johnny to do that. Like, he doesn't even like eat food by himself. Like,
right.
And like, you got him to sign that. And like, that might seem like insignificant to everybody else, but like
it's a small,
but for that kid, it's a huge thing.
Yeah.
It's a huge thing. Right. And like, I've experienced this just from being in these day programs, we're not even just in New Jersey anymore. We're in PA now. Like I go to Philly once a month in Willow Grove.
Nice.
And I'm trying to build it out even to multi-states, which I could get to in a day. I mean, you can go down to Delaware, back and dip from Delaware in like an hour, 15 hour, 30.
And from where we are here in central New Jersey, we're not far to New York, North Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware. Actually, Maryland is less than 3 hours away.
Sure. And I've contacted places You know, I've contacted places up in Connecticut, like Southern Connecticut, New York City, Baltimore, like you said, Wilmington, Delaware. I've even contacted a place in DC just to see if there was interest, you know.
Right.
And they're, you know, it's tough because for those places, I couldn't do like a weekly thing there. It would be like a once a month thing.
Well, that
Or
or
like
you would
a-
have to expand and have someone in that area.
I'd have to have
that
somebody
could,
down
you know, move your program.
I'd have to be, hey, I'd have to get somebody, you know, have a friend who
I'm helping you think globally here.
Oh yeah. That's right. That's right.
Hey, you have your guitar in your hand.
Yeah,
You
dude.
wanna play
Let's
something?
play a
man?
song
Let's
already,
play
right?
a song already.
What are we doing here?
We're halfway through this show. We ain't hear any music
That's amazing.
yet.
See, this is what happens. You get
Time
to-
flies by.
All right, so this is a song that I co-wrote with a friend of mine named Steve Bow. Steve used to be in this band called Amora Bliss. I'm not sure if anybody out there has heard of them. They're no longer a band, but they were awesome. And Steve is a great dude. He doesn't even know that I'm playing this song. We wrote this song and I pitched it to different things. And Steve is a great engineer and he programmed the drums on this recording. You can check this out. I don't think we have it up on iTunes, but we have it on Bandcamp. It's called This Ship. So if you were to look up This Ship by me, Jim Gaven, and Steve Bow, maybe on Google, you'd probably find some.
Actually, I
cool
think we
stuff.
have links back to all of Jim's music on coaradio.com in the Key of Awesome's page, which you'll get right off the homepage. There's a link to that. And everything is right there.
Nice, man. So this song's kind of intense, so I might have to back away a little bit because it's I'm gonna really get into the guitar here, Art. All right. So just be forewarned with this one. This isn't one of the more delicate, intimate songs. This is
Nope,
this
I
is
heard
kind
the
of
song.
like a rock and roller. Yeah. Sometimes I feel broken, obsolete, and outdated. Sometimes it's like I'm going down a one-way into pavement. I won't die, I won't turn to the water, to the water, to the stinging. I'm still swinging, this ship isn't sinking. Sometimes I feel hopeless, like there's nothing worth chasing. But sometimes it's like I don't know what direction I'm facing. But I won't dive, I won't dive into the water, into the water. Lord, the stinging, I'm still swinging. This ship isn't sinking. Never out of time. It's all in your mind. Sometimes I feel broken, obsolete, and outdated. But this ship isn't sinking. This ship isn't sinking. I won't dive, I won't dive into the water, to the water. Ignore the stinging, I'm still swinging. This ship isn't sinking. Yeah, man.
I love that song.
That's such a cool tune.
It very is.
And, like Steve is, I gotta say, Steve came up with a decent amount of those words. like all of us in life, sometimes we struggle. And I know Steve wouldn't mind me saying this because we've talked about it. Steve struggles from depression, and I struggle from anxiety quite a bit. And so we get the two of us together, and
And somewhere in the middle.
and we're somewhere in the middle, right? And we, I came up with that guitar. I basically contributed some of the words in the chorus, basically helped him edit the verse. I just gave him this. The whole song is pretty much rooted in those three chords, right? And then there's like a guitar part that comes in like, a little bit later on, like a solo riff. And Steve, like, he's just like, I think he's a musical genius. I really do. He made magic out of that song. And we actually recorded that one. And this is the beauty about like nowadays with recording, right? You don't even have to be in the same place and you can record a song. And so
True.
We didn't actually get together in person and record that song together. We wrote that song independently, sending files back and forth. And I recorded guitar and the vocals that I did at home, and maybe a little bit of the bass, possibly. I kind of forget at this point. Steve he wrote some really cool electric guitar parts, arranged all the drums, did his vocals at his place, and mixed and mastered it all himself. Just like amazing, right? And we didn't even meet in person to do it.
Wow. I hear a lot of that though when we do rock radio on Sunday nights. They're like, "Yeah, man, like this guy was here, or another guy was in California. We sent it to the engineer who's in Tennessee."
It's crazy.
And he mixes everything and sends it back and forth for them, for approval. The beauty of the internet today.
Yeah, it's amazing. So like those words too are really something, because it's to me, I felt like I really wanted to play that tonight because we're on recovery radio,
right?
And there's a lot of stuff you can pull from that would be for addiction. Sometimes I feel hopeless, like there's nothing worth chasing, right? We can all feel like that sometimes.
Absolutely.
But then there's the turnaround, in the chorus that comes like, I won't dive into the water, meaning you're not just gonna jump without like a safety net,
right?
Ignore the stinging because sometimes it can hurt. I'm still swinging, meaning I'm still here. I'm gonna fight through this damn thing. I'm gonna get over this thing. I'm gonna fight.
And that's what it takes.
I'm gonna fight.
I mean, it takes a lifelong commitment, right, to really overcome, this type of an addiction. So
yeah,
but it's all about hope. You know what I mean? And that's what I hope we pass out here.
Hope in the end is like, what is hope? Sometimes you think like hope is different for everybody, right?
It is.
It's got a different meaning for everybody. Like I wrote a song years ago called Something to Hope For. And that was my plea of actually wanting like world peace. Will we ever get there?
Right.
And like, I don't know, will we ever get there?
No.
Like temporary peace, but like, can there be just a day? Can there just be like one day where there's no fighting, war, bombings, just one day out of a year where we can get that?
Where there's no conflict.
Where there's literally no conflict like that.
That would be awesome.
Would that be actually heaven though? Would that be actually like, would we have crossed over? Would we have crossed over to the other plane?
Could it
and
happen?
That's heaven, because could it actually happen on Earth? I don't know.
That's a good question.
You know what I mean? Would that be like what we would call like the judgment day, where if we would all cross over from Earth to heaven, and there would be no war because there's no war in heaven.
I know. I try to teach my kids like kindness. You know what I mean? Like that's what's going to get you through life, not conflict, but kindness. You know what I mean? And caring for somebody else and going out of your way to let them know.
Yeah.
And if the whole world did that, it would be a much better place.
Sure. I have this. It's funny. This theory that I've had, right? And I've been kind of testing the waters out. We were talking about earlier about different projects we have going on, and stuff that you want to get out there. And there's this like, I've done a lot of reading on it, and it's kind of, a lot of this stuff is like common sense, right? But like, what if we just all sang to each other all day long instead of talked?
True.
Right? It's not possible to be happy and angry at the same time. So it's not physically possible to be happy and angry at the same time, right? And so what if all the big world leaders got together and like decided, hey, let's just sing out this meeting instead of talk? And like, would Kim Jong Il be threatened to push the red button, so to speak, if Donald Trump just sang him something? And you know what I mean? And like, just say like, "Oh, I can't be mad at you. You sound silly." There might be something to that, Art. Like
there might be something to that.
It would be exhausting to sing all day long because it takes a lot of energy. But wow, it could be worth it. You release endorphins. You feel good. It's a stress reliever. There's actually something about group singing too that does far more for your mind and your mental health than it does for singing by yourself. So like it's really interesting, and I'm like formulating this thing, and I'm like, I've tinkered around, like, could this be a book idea? Could this be like something I could formulate into a book with these different, pulling in like Gregorian chanting because that's like group singing, or people in a choir, and this idea of just singing to each other, even just like in your relationships, like you're in a fight with somebody, and instead of being like, Art, I'm really pissed off at you, and I say it like, Art, I'm really pissed off at you, right?
Actually, I thought I read something about like chanting. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like there was actually somebody who was, there's something in chanting that calms you, or you know what I mean? It was some type of a technique they were using. They were like, you can chant.
Yeah.
Bring yourself down, I guess. Maybe it was from an anxiety attack.
Sure, it might be. Because there's like a repetitive quality to it. And it's basically when you're having an anxiety or panic attack, which I've had, it's hard to calm your mind down and thinking that, oh my gosh, this is the end, I'm going to die. And when you do something that's repetitive, that uses different breathing techniques too, chanting is definitely that.
Right.
And when you're doing it with other people, you don't feel like you're so alone. Because when you're having a panic attack, you feel like you're alone. It's literally the end of your life. You feel like it's the end of that's it, I'm done. And so there probably is really something to Gregorian chanting that works on multiple levels.
I'm sure. I am sure. There's more to it than just chanting. I'm sure they were chanting for a reason, and it must have some type of a calming effect.
Yeah.
Something in group, right?
Yes, and things done in a group, like we were talking about before, community, man. Like there's just something about it, where we don't feel alone. We feel like we're connected with other people.
And that's it. That sense of community really works across, many different genres. I mean, special needs, addictions, anxiety, depression. You know what I mean? All those things.
Yeah.
I suffer from some of that myself, so. But don't we all? You know what I mean? I think I think everyone suffers from some type of anxiety, or a depression, or a combination of both.
Maybe it's and and it's become such a thing where nowadays it's becoming better where people are talking about it more.
Right, because it's there's more awareness about it.
There's not like a stigma as much as there used to be, right? There's still a little bit of stigma out there, but there's always going to be with anything, I feel like. But like it's really good that people are talking about it, because then if you share, like say a celebrity shares, like I really suffer from anxiety,
right?
Then like that, whoever's a big fan of that celebrity will think, oh my gosh, like I struggle with that too. Like that makes them more human.
And
sometimes
and
they put these celebrities on
sometimes.
like pedestals, like they're God's gift to the world and they can never do any wrong and they're perfect, and nobody's perfect. Let's be honest,
nobody's
man.
perfect.
Right?
We all have our flaws.
Yeah. And to think that we can all like connect on a human level that way a little bit better nowadays if we just share about it, and know that you're not alone, that there's always somebody you can talk to. You can call up somebody, maybe you're having a moment of despair or a moment of just deep struggle with something. Like call your mom, call your best friend,
call someone,
right? It doesn't matter who the hell it is.
You need to call
someone.
Because it's a sense of community. We had talked about this off the air, and I ask a lot of people when we're talking about this subject is, what's the opposite of addiction? And they'll say everything, and I'll go, it's community. Because people that are using, or no matter what that addiction is, whether it be alcohol or drugs or whatever, isolates, and they're by themselves. So once you get them back into a community setting, they're no longer thinking those dark thoughts. Or, you know what I mean? There's somebody else always around them.
Yeah.
And that sense of community really helps us keep it together.
Yeah, that's a great sentiment. And something I want to point out too, from the places that I've been going to, right? The day programs, especially with adults and like those working with Alzheimer's, dementia care, the sick kids that we write, songs for, and like the drug and alcohol addiction recovery treatment centers and whatnot. The people that work at these places are amazing people.
Mm-hmm.
And like they need to be celebrated more. I'm telling you, man, like a lot of these people are like, they would give their life for somebody else. And I don't think are compensated enough. One, they're overworked and like burn out, and they still find a way to get up every morning and like are doing stuff that people, let's face it, like you don't wake up in the morning and think, I can't wait to like clean Johnny's whole body and wipe his butt and feed him and like do, people don't, like that's when you're a kid, most people don't grow up and are like, hey, I want to like wipe somebody's ass like my whole life. Like, sorry to be so blunt about it, but like, what you understand? Like,
it's the same thing.
It's really hard work.
Even people that are in nursing homes and in rehabilitation. I mean, my mom spent almost 2 years in rehabilitation before she passed. And it's not that those people don't care. It's that there isn't enough of them.
There is,
you know what I mean, to take care of the needs.
There is not enough. People are so overworked and underpaid in these places, and they're not appreciated like as much as they really should be. Like there should be like a day, right? Like we should like a day we have on the calendar, right? For like
they should have a week.
something. I not even that. I don't even know what it would be to like really honor like the their contributions to where they are, right? To whoever they're serving and supporting. I mean, honestly, a lot of these people they're doing well. They're doing God's work. It really is, and they're kind of like little like Mother Teresa's to me.
Yeah, and they do the best they can do with what they have to work with.
Yeah. Oh yeah, a lot of these places, nonprofits, shoestring budget.
Yeah.
Make do with whatever the heck you can find.
And there's a lot of places out there. A lot of nonprofits for different causes across the whole thing, from addiction to special needs to seniors. I mean, that there's something out there for everybody.
Yeah, sure.
There really is. So we're running out of time. You want to play another song?
Yeah, I'll play another tune.
Let's play another tune.
Yeah, man. This is going to be a song I wrote, and forgive me, but I need these lyrics. I write a lot, and it's hard to keep track of everything in my head.
No,
unfortunately,
I'm sure, man.
And so
with the phone, that's your pad. It's always with you.
Yeah, it's. So I got the lyrics up here. I don't know if there's something I can maybe prop this on. Can I? Just because it might be a little bit easier to prop this on something.
Here, use my cup.
Is it?
It's got some liquid in it.
Okay, that should work.
That should work.
Yeah. Thanks. Sorry. This is a song. Actually, we were just talking about this topic before, and got put on my mind and heart to kind of write something along these lines. Like I wrote a song years ago, like I said, about world peace, and this is kind of like a new, updated version of like what world peace could be. It's called "Only Love Can Find a Way," and amidst all the darkness and wars and conflict, love is the one thing that can push through anything, right? And that's kind of what the song is about, and it's got kind of like a folk kind of feel to it. There's more to life than waging wars. So tell me what we're fighting for. Tired and known out. A peace will be when you lay your guns down. There's more to life than getting rich. Cause when you die, you can't take it. give it up. 'Cause what you think will never be enough. All this time I sit and wait and wonder if there's ever gonna change. Living by without a hope, souls outnumbered. I'm on your side tonight, and every night only love can find a way. There's more to life than being right, but along the way you just lost sight. You could have seen it then. You have built your bridges up with all your friends. There's more to life than getting ahead. Is it worth it to leave your family for dead? No, it's not. It's the high and dry and the ones who pay the price. All this time I sit and wait and wonder if you're ever gonna change. Living by without a hope is numbered. I'm on your side tonight, and every night only love can find a way. All this time I sit and wait and wonder if you're ever gonna change. Living blind without a hope, your soul's outnumbered. But I'm on your side tonight, and every night only love can find a way. Only love can find a way. Only love can find a way.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, man.
Very awesome. I love your songwriting.
Oh, thanks, man.
I do. I really
I
do.
appreciate that, man.
I woke up. Matter of fact, I think it was Sunday morning, and I just turned the radio station on from my phone,
Yeah.
and it was replaying. I was like, "What's that song?" Because I didn't recognize it right away.
Yeah.
And I was like, "That's Jim."
No way, really? What song was it?
I forget what it was. It might have been the beach song.
Oh, Sunset Beach.
Sunset Beach.
So I'll tell you a little story about that song. Why not, right? I try to write songs about super different topics if I can. It's a lot of fun to just try to pick something apart that maybe I haven't before.
Right.
And so I'll tell you this song, Sunset Beach. All right, so it's called Sunset Beach Song, and because I was in a town called Sunset Beach. It's a place in North Carolina. My aunt and uncle lived down there.
Okay.
And oh man, it was such a cool vacation. My wife and I, this is before we had our son. Actually, I think it was the summer before we knew that my wife was pregnant. And we went down there because I went there as a kid, like I was 7 or 8.
Right.
Vague memory of it. And my aunt and uncle were just kind of been, when they come up and visit, they're like, you got to come down. And like one time we're like, fine, like we'll take you up on that. And we went down, and it was just the most calm I think I've been in my adult life.
Yeah.
It's just so nice being on the
Soothing,
beach.
yeah.
And like, it's kind of like off the beaten path a little bit. So like we stayed about 2 blocks off the water. My aunt and uncle had like a rental property, and they let us stay there. And I was just sitting out on like the front porch, like after just a great day, being on the beach, exploring like the different area, just great nature there. And I just was like, man, I felt inspired. I wrote a song about this town, And I've been there as a kid once for like a week, and we spent like 4 or 5 days there. And like the second to last day, I was like, I gotta write a song about this town,
Right.
the feeling that I have here, And it was on the ukulele.
Was it?
Yeah. And so, I play uke a little bit. I actually teach ukulele classes at the Trenton Public Library every Tuesday. So, and they're free. So if anybody lives in that area, from 4:30 to 5 p.m., I don't know how long it's going to go for because it's a grant that was kind of funded by the I Am Trenton Foundation.
Do you have a website, or how can they find out more information about what you have going on?
KeyofAwesomemusic.com. If you just go there, there's a lot of updates on there. And mostly I post a lot of social media stuff on Facebook, which gets fed to my Twitter page too.
Right.
And like every day of the week, well, every weekday, I guess, not like the weekends really. I post, like where our team is going to be that day. And you'll see on Tuesdays from 4:30 to 5, we're at the Trenton Public Library teaching ukulele lessons to basically for kids.
Right. And
they provide, there's like 7 or 8 ukuleles. So you don't even have to have one. You can just show up. They're there.
Oh, awesome. And
the library has them. It's a really cool little thing that they're doing there. And I
was actually checking out our Hamilton Library site, here in Hamilton.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, they really offer a lot of stuff.
There's some cool things some libraries are doing.
Yeah.
Right. Like I do that's something I forgot to mention, right? I mentioned it off the air, but not on the air. Like I do children's programs too at different libraries, just play fun, silly songs, pass out instruments, and we just get to act like a bunch of goofballs.
So they can find out keyofmusic.com, right? We'll give them all the information.
KeyofAwesomemusic.com.
Key of Awesome Music.
We'll get you to, these different updates and things that are happening. And from there, Facebook.
How do they sign up for your newsletter?
Oh,
I know I'm on your newsletter.
Yeah. You would go to the website and
you can sign up.
There's a space on the website to do that. Yeah.
So keyofAwesomemusic.com.
Yeah.
And you can join us then. Our day is gone. Anything you want to impart with us before we leave? I can't believe it's been that hour goes fast.
It's crazy, dude. Yeah. I mean, I always like to leave on a positive note, right? With anything what I'm doing. And to sum up kind of what we talked about today, like we all need help, right? Whether you have a developmental disability or an addiction or, or struggling mentally, just be there for each other, man. Like show up. And that just means, somebody calls you, answer the phone no matter what the hell time it is at night. If you're, if you hear it, obviously, like if you have it on silent, you're not going to hear it. But like, if a friend of yours is going through a tough time, and even if you don't know, just show up, be there. We can't be too busy for each other. The world depends on us being there for each other.
This is true. This is very true. And we all have to pay it forward, right? I mean, that's what we do. If you're struggling with addiction, you are a family member and you don't know what to do, you can reach out to City of Angels. Our number is 609-910-4942. You can call that number 24 hours a day. We are going to be going off the air, but we are going to be leaving with My Life's Juice.
Yeah.
So thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next Monday night. We'll probably be a recorded one.
Yep, it'll be a recorded one.
But we're going to be doing this more often.
We will, yeah.
And just follow us on Facebook at coaradio.com, and you can find out more of what's going on. You can learn about all of Jim's stuff. All the past shows are up on the website, coaradio.com, Key of Awesome. And you can get everything from there. So until next week, have a great week.
Sometimes a friend is all you need. Someone to talk to when you're lost at sea. I'll cast my line to bring you back to shore. We can find what you're looking for. It's such a crazy world that we live in. So many things to do and so many directions. We need to slow it down and take deep breaths before we miss what happens next. Be there. We can't think about I can't let you in. So come here anytime you want. Listen to your favorite song. Get it from the world for a minute or two. Come on your empty pain. Push it right down the drain. Free your heart up with someone like you. 'Cause that's what friends are for. Life truth. Sometimes a friend is all you need. Someone to talk to, keep you company. I listen well to what you have to